first this hour in a historic move. International sanctions against Iran have been lifted. It comes after confirmation that Tehran has stopped its nuclear activities and follows months of negotiations designed to prevent the development of a nuclear weapon. The United Nations has welcomed the deal as a significant milestone. Well, Abas Aslani is in Tehran, and where the President Rouhani has been speaking this morning. Abbas, good to speak to you. How has Rouhani's comments been received by people in Tehran?
Hello, thank you for having me. You know that the announcement of the joint JCPOA implementation or the nuclear deal was announced very late after the midnight here and almost early in the morning. So there was not enough time for the people to have that much reaction here. And Iranian president was supposed to give a live speech after the announcement, but he postponed it to today, which is going to happen in the afternoon. He is going to have a press conference, but he had some statements in the parliament, and he welcomed it, and he said that it could bring a ground for much more cooperation with the other parts of the world and in the region. But because it's not been a long time that he has given his speech, not much reaction made to his speech in the parliament, but it seems that there are going to be some people who are going to agree with the president that to see the nuclear deal as a ground for much more cooperation inside and outside the country, in the region and across the globe. And there are also some critics and some opponents who has been arguing that the lifting of the sanctions and the nuclear deal is not enough for solving the economic problems, and they believe that some problems relate to mismanagement in the country, and they believe that in order to solve the economic problems, the management needs to be done in a good way. Yes.
Well, Abbas, I know you've been looking at some of the press out of Iran this morning. What have they been saying? What have the papers been saying this morning about this lifting of the sanctions?
You know, the media mostly and the public mind is mostly supportive of the deal, but they are a bit cautiously optimistic about this issue. Mostly the newspapers I was looking in the morning, they had titles which were positive, saying that the sanctions are lifted, and the day without sanctions or morning without sanctions, they mostly welcomed the lifting of the sanctions. And there are some media who are critics, and those who have been criticizing the government on the nuclear issue. They had the titles like now it's time for all the parties and the other side to keep their promises, and they in fact saw this as a test for the other side to see that whether they will keep to their promises or not. And so far, there's not been that much of hardliner or very harsh reaction to this agreement. I think now the question for the media, and also most importantly for the public and the public one, is that they are asking that how much of effect can this agreement and its implementation have on the economic issues and the issues in the country. It seems that they need to wait a bit more to see the effects come into effect in the economy and their routine life, because not in a very short time they can see big things happening. At least I think 6 months to 1 year is needed to see something to happen, and they can feel something in their life.
Well, Abas Aslani, for us in Tehran, thank you for your analysis of the reaction. Now, there have been mixed reactions to the lifting of these sanctions. While John Kerry says the world is now a safer place, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Iran continues to spread terror. He released a statement immediately after the sanctions were lifted, saying Israel has not abandoned its aspirations to acquire nuclear weapons and continues to act. Iran has not remove their aspirations to acquire nuclear weapons and continue to destabilize the Middle East and spread terrorism throughout the world. Now,